Poultry farming is the raising of domesticated birds such as chicken, turkeys, ducks, guinea fowls, pigeons and geese for the purpose of meat or eggs. In the recent past, poultry farming in Kenya was mostly practiced in small scale, but with the increased demand for white meat, poultry farmers have embraced commercial poultry farming methods. Much as chicken is the most widely consumed bird, commercial rearing of ducks is slowly gaining momentum. There are numerous meat and egg productive duck breeds available throughout the world. All the present domestic ducks around the globe come from the wild birds. Those wild birds wander around the world, and some of them have been domesticated as a good source of food. Almost all those birds are from the mallard species. Incidentally, all hen from the world comes from the red wild hen. You might know that ducks are aquatic organisms. Some people think that ducks cannot live without water, but this is totally wrong. You cannot imagine a pond without water, but ducks can be raised without water. Thousands of ducks can be raised without water by keeping them inside the house, in the same way you raise chickens or other types of poultry birds. But keep in mind, in case of raising ducks without water, your ducks will lay unfertilized egg. That means you can't hatch the eggs for producing ducklings. If you want fertile eggs, male ducks and water are essential. You can easily raise ducks without water. They just need water for reproduction or mating purposes. There are numerous advantages of starting duck farming business. In many countries, ducks rank next to chicken for meat and egg production. You can raise ducks in both commercial and small-scale meat or egg production purposes. Even you can raise some ducks on your own backyard with other birds or animals. Some of the advantages of duck rearing include the fact that they can be housed in cheaper, simple, and non-elaborate housing structures. Ducks have shorter brooding period where ducklings are found to mature faster than chicks. Another advantage of commercial duck rearing is that they are highly resistant to common avian diseases and therefore have less mortality rate. There are so many duck breeds in the world. These include the Indian Runner, Rouen, Buff, Blue and Black Swedish, White Layer, Pekin, Golden Hybrid, Khaki and White Campbell, Cayuga, Welsh Harlequin, and the Mallard ducks. Selecting the right breed for duck contributes greatly to the success of the business. Consider the ease of availability of your breed if you intend to keep. The Pekin bird is by far the most popular for meat production given its high growth rate, enabling it to attain a market weight of 2.5 kilograms in 7 to 8 weeks. The Muscovy breed is popular due to its high adaptation and scavenging conditions and is also suitable to breed for meat. However, it has a relatively low growth weight, but it is able to attain 4.5 to 5.5 kilograms at 12 weeks. If your interest is in egg production, consider the Khaki Campbell breed since it is able to lay 300 to 330 eggs per year under intensive system and 175 to 225 eggs per year under semi-intensive system. Its eggs are large, thick shell and weigh about 70 to 75 grams. For dual-purpose production, the Pekin is considered ideal since besides having a high growth rate, the birds are able to lay 100 to 180 eggs per year. Ducks can be reared under intensive, semi-intensive, or free-range systems. Under intensive system, allow a floor space of 4 to 5 square feet per duck for the laying breeds and 3 square feet per bird for the meat breeds. The house should be well ventilated, dry and rat-proof, while the floor should be partly covered with litter materials such as wood shavings, rice husks, or wheat straws, and partly with wood slats or wire mesh. For semi-intensive system, the house should have easy access to outside runs as ducks prefer to be outdoor during the day. Provide a floor space of 3 to 4 square feet per duck for night shelter and 10 to 15 square feet per duck for outside confined run. Under free-range system, 250 ducks can be accommodated in a quarter-acre land with a high dependent on forage availability. Water for swimming is not an essential feature. However, continuous flow channel with dimensions of about 20 inches wide by 6 to 8 inches deep should be constructed where outside runs are provided or at the end of the house. This allows the birds to immerse their heads in the water to prevent scaly, crusty, or extreme case blindness. Ducklings can be successfully brooded in any brooder house and under any type of brooder used for chicken. In fact, ducklings are generally easier to brood than chicken. Although Muscovy ducks can be used for brooding ducklings, they should not be wasted for this purpose. They are more valuable for egg production or incubation. Discourage broodiness by placing broody ducks in broody coops, usually 3 to 5 days, making sure they have continuous access to feed and water. Brooding takes 3 to 4 weeks, during which it is the best to confine ducklings to a smaller space using a brooder ring of a spacing of 0.5 square feet per duckling. This is made out of cardboards of 12 to 15 inches high that can be adjusted as the birds grow. Like chicks, ducklings require heat until they are fully feathered. The brooder temperature of a duckling at the first week of life is at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Every week thereafter, the brooder temperature will need to be adjusted 5 degrees lower. Because a duckling's waste is liquidy, pine shavings are the best option to be used when raising ducklings. Line the brooder with 3 inches of shaving, changing it as needed. Gently racking the shavings every day helps to move around the waste on the safe bedding and save on the bedding. Ducklings must have a permanent supply of good clean drinking water. This can be provided by 4.5 liters drinking fonts for the first few days, then preferably by an automatic ball cork operated drinking vessel or a bell-type hanging drinker. Ducklings should be able to immerse their heads in water but must not be allowed to swim in it. To avoid damp litter, place drinkers on a wire grid over the concrete floor. Ducklings can die if they are kept without water for even shorter periods. Staggering and convulsions are typical symptoms of lack of water. Should the water supply fail, give ducklings a drink of warm milk before providing them with water. This will help to avoid intestinal cramp and staggers. Place feeders on an elevated platform to prevent them from becoming contaminated with droppings. Both feeders and drinkers must be easily accessible. For each duckling up to 3 weeks of age, provide 1.5 centimeters of drinking space and 4 centimeters of feeding space. After brooding, ducklings may be placed in an intensive or semi-intensive rearing sheds or in wire colony cages. If the system of managed warrants, ducklings may be reared in the brooder house with the heat removed until marketing time.
you.